Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be talking about, well, it's gonna be one of those podcasts. Okay, so I don't have too much structure going into, like, I don't wanna go into psychology that much, but like, okay, so I considered maybe talking about like the technology aspects of like internet security, but again, I like fight so much to get technical. I mean, to not get too technical. I don't think, at least it's not the message that I'm getting, that the world needs more technical standard books, or for them to be read, and for somebody to be video recording their understanding of textbooks, which ultimately I don't really agree with them. So, um, and okay, so I, I'm diagnosed with way too many things historically. At least, okay, do you guys go, okay, I'm not even gonna, WebMD, that's all I have to say. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like the over-diagnosing of going on the internet and just being like, yeah, I have all of the diseases that I've already just talked about. And like, psychosis comes to mind. But to me, that also, it's really unexplored how, like, maybe in the anthropology of the human mind, how much cognitive growth has taken place and how much has emerged from lower functions, that it would make sense if you really start to analyze something on a higher scale. And okay, so for me, at least with the internet security, I like the psychology of people and how I'm not okay. I'm not a bad person, and but the amount of times that people feel drawn to, oh my god, this person needs help, but like, oh my god, so then like people take advantage, and so really, what's the point, right? So to me, that's why people hate me. That's why nobody likes me, and I'm so like, I'm okay. I'm not okay, actually. I'm arguing that I'm the most not okay person in this entire country, in this entire state, in the United States of America, which should it even be called that, really, in reality, because we're in North America. That includes a lot more than just the United States as a country, right? Because, okay, I don't even want to get too political about that, but so, at least for me, as long as I'm steady and throughout my entire continual conversation, then okay, so does it impact the long term failures or the success of even just not even just a species, but the a group? And I know that could get really controversial, that, well, if if it's just deterrence, if it's just something that, well, so I don't know that. I don't know. Am I? So that's very LA or New York or maybe Florida, Ohio. Like, how old? How old do you have to be in mindset to just fall trap to anything that really anybody's telling you? And how much of anything is under their control, or is it just all like psychotronic attacks on the mind that people just go ahead and take those um, tactics and upload them online and just make fake deep AI videos about whatever they want or whatever they need in whenever somebody's talking to them, and they like, because most of the time it might be that this person is engaged like in a long-term relationship, and that sometimes it just takes the right person saying the right thing at the right time without being too cliche. Maybe trying to help them grow a little bit. Maybe trying to help them be more understanding of the position that somebody else might be in. And it just takes them to see that that almost like I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, and to just want to be there and offer any type of assistance or any type of help that one person might be able to provide for another. But unfortunately, sometimes there's like extortionist type people that take advantage of those type of technologies and the psychological devices that people might fall prey to. And it's I I don't know if it's more about like, you can prepare for something for so long, and it it could just, when somebody comes at you, and, and they need to feel it out too. It needs to be a multiple person interaction. It needs to be, well, if I can hear that somebody's going through something, then I might just attack those vulnerabilities. And if they're really more open to like, oh my god, this person needs help, I need to be there for them. I need to make sure that they always know where somebody can be there for them and want to offer them something. But it's really up to the individual if they want to accept it or not. And so if something is like an opportunity or a chance for growth, or maybe like an obvious cry for help, it's those type of ambiguities that people try to really dig into and really take advantage of others with. And so I guess there's really a lot to unpack. There really is. And what it is that maybe, you know, it often goes unsaid. It's not said within the therapist community or psychologist or shrink communities that sometimes it's treated equally as off-putting to offer a patient a diagnosis or maybe a box of tissue, because they might seem inappropriate, maybe not. So the usual case is that the the psychological professional is more kind of gonna err on the side of caution and gonna assume that the patient doesn't want the diagnosis unless they ask for it or ask about it, and they'll try to be more consistent with the therapeutic goals, with the measurable outcomes, and really the only ways that they can implement those type of things is, well, if I create a sense of urgency and I create not just an environment where someone can flourish and really connect with those deep needs and values, then I'm gonna do that. And sometimes it comes off as too aggressive or too down the wrong stream of things, but really it's up to the individual, because if there's something that needs to be addressed, I'm personally the type of person to just be really direct about it. And I expect issues to kind of be corrected immediately, but sometimes those type of things, first of all, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a therapist, and I don't know those communities very well other than what I've experienced by going to get help as a patient for the most part. Sometimes it's just like informational, like, hey, you are this type of professional, what do you think about these topics? And no, I'm not patient every time that I make those calls. So I don't know that all of that is contagious, and if it is, then oh my god, that's crazy. That's like literally the definition of a cuckoo, and that's me. I totally agree with that. But like, on as far as internet security goes, because when I say the hardware side of technology, I think people assume that I'm talking about a motherboard and a graphics card and the fan system, or maybe they think that thinking a little bit more modular and kind of just doing more like circuit boards or something. But no. I'm talking about like material science, like the type of material that the electron spaces are being created on, and like different quantum shapes and arrangements that can be made for quantum interactions, from like electron tunneling and subatomic particles, kind of creating gradients that, oh, see, I don't want to give too much information, that's why I don't want to talk about it. Oh my gosh, guys, am I delulu? Where's my labubu? Period. Excuse me, I'm burping because I had chorizo. I had chorizo with eggs and chile in beans, and oh my god, that's a lot of acid for my stomach, so I'm feeling burpy, and but maybe that's an indicator that things might not last as long as they should. And if I were more literate, as maybe people, I don't know, like renowned psychologists that at my degrees in philosophy, I don't like to feel bored. I don't like to feel grounded. I don't like to feel ungrounded in bad situations, but grounded in good situations. Sorry, I do like to feel that way. But, well, isn't all of life a roller coaster, at least emotionally, not informationally? But what am I doing right now? I'm not I'm not at work needing to do tasks, and even if I did, if people would speak to me a certain way, then I would try to do my best to respond to them appropriately. And as seeing as to how I am currently in an echo chamber that is quite vast, it's a little bit like a hamster on a wheel, then I obviously should address certain things, but that's not what I'm going to address. I'm just going to keep going because well, who in life gets the last say? Is it a person who's always first in line, or maybe a partner that they engage with on a regular basis, but how consistent all of these things should dictate the emotional outcome of a situation, but also with people. So psychologically, aren't we all there? But who needs to be a psychology renowned certified person, right? Like, I could just be who I want to be and enjoy that. And if people like that, then they'll be around me. But if they don't like that, then they don't have to be around me. And have I been driven to this point? You know, let's not play. Let's not blame others. Let's not play the blame game. Let's own up to everything, all of everything, because how much is even out there that can be owned up to, and by whom? Are there any specific perpetrators? Are there any specific indicators that might dictate that like other parties are I'm scared. Am I scared? Who said that? Oh my god, I'm off my hinges. So anyway, if anybody wants to never talk to me again, I 100% understand and stuff. Goodbye, farewell. If, however, you say, how can I help you, friend? You need help. I don't know if there's a point of return with certain things, because I'm at least at the very least, I'm glad that this state of California has provided financial assistance for buying groceries. So I do appreciate that, because I was only able to eat because of that, but now I'm burping because of that. So I'm trying to. Who believes in freedom of speech? 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Who's there? 3, 4. Shut the door. So really, in reality, I'm nervous because for the rest of my life now, I don't. Who's the professionals here? Because when I go to that's what it feels like, at least when I go to the professionals, like my doctors, and then they just make up stuff, and I'm just like, dude, this is what my health record looks like now. This is what all of what my health has been is becoming, because, well, all of the documentation provided indicates all of this, but when I'm in the office and they're talking to me, they're putting this stuff down wrong. So I'm like, okay, well, patient history is incorrect, because people want to interpret things however they want to interpret. But also, like, when I'm calling my office, like my doctor's office, and they tell me one thing and then it's like turns out to be another, and I'm just like, dude, all because you were trying to tell me some other thing that I wasn't really trying to hear. And so whose fault is it anyway? Because what does it mean? I went onto the Social Security website to look at what it means to have low vision, because it's a whole nother long story. It's psychology, right? This is what would make me a renowned expert in psychology. Is how can you even keep track of any of that? I don't know. You tell me, because I thought my whole reality made sense. But anyway, so the low sight, that means that basically when I clicked on the website, it didn't load up there was no definition of what, because I know I'm not blind, and I'm not visually impaired, but because when I went on the website before, like a couple years, this was maybe like 2000, between 2014 and 2000, maybe 16, 17, 19, between one of those 5 years. Then it was, back then it was visually impaired, but now it said low vision, and when I was on the website, you can click on low vision. It was like highlighted in blue that so I went on to see what the definition was, like to expand on that definition, because it would give you a couple words, like when you hovered the mouse over the word low vision, then it would pop up a little bit of the definition. But if it didn't suffice, like if it wasn't enough for you to understand fully like what that meant, so I clicked on it, and it takes you to the page, and what does it say on there? I don't know. I don't want to say it because I don't remember it exactly, but it said something about emails, receiving communications from the social security's office, and so, but I'm just like, that was the second half of it. The first half, I don't know what it, I don't remember exactly what it said, but I'm like, why is the second part of the low vision definition how you're going to receive information from the Social Security office? So I was just like, do I have low vision? What does that even mean? And so I'm like kind of reading it in a way that, okay, so like, do you guys remember Shakespeare from high school? Because it makes no sense to me, but to some people it makes like absolutely normal sense, and I'm just like, I don't get it at all. I've tried studying it multiple times throughout my life and it makes no sense, but hey, that's just me. And so I'm like, but I know Shakespeare used to use like the pentameter and stuff like that, so I started reading, counting kind of like a haiku, but not a haiku, because haiku's 5/7. I was just like, let me think of music 4/4, so like 4 beats per measure, and so I was reading it that way, per syllables, and I was just like, oh my god, why does everybody speak like this and it means something to them? Like, that makes no sense to me. But like, I understand if humans to have this natural tendency to like sing melodies and kind of like copy each other and like really share and exchange tonal information, and communication kind of increases more in like cyclically over repetition, right? So it's like, to me, I've always ignored a lot of the smaller intricacies of situations, like words, verbiage, and like word choice, and I'm just like, I've always just been trying to describe things more, and so I'm just like, but wait, so if everybody's writing on this pentameter type 4 thing, so I don't, I cannot possibly be prescribing into it automatically just because other people say that it exists and they subscribe to it 100%, right? So, and like the repetition of things, to me, in my mind, that part of that rhythm, yeah, well, it's social. Like, I've learned it. Like, I'm talking now, I'm speaking my ideas, right? So but I'm not talking to anybody in particular, maybe if you consider yourself, but I feel like, okay, I'm saying it and I'm hearing it back later than I said it, but I like that overlap confuses me, and it like almost deters my mind and my ability to understand something, like an idea, a topic, a stream of a line of information. So I don't know if that's just a personal issue, but is it something that I want to fix? I don't know. I don't know. I think about, well, where am I now? And where is it that I want to be? And really, some people might just not even be able to understand anything that I'm saying. And why am I doing this now? Why am, like, you have to ask yourself. Maybe sometimes if you go on a rant all just like that, and somebody's like really just trying to help you and be nice and be like, oh my god, this person is just need help, and then somehow like you form a relationship with somebody, and then like they start extorting you. They're like, send me money, I need this. Like, oh, I just made a lot of money doing investments, like can you invest in these accounts for that, so I'll show you how to increase the banking situation that you had going on earlier. Like, maybe you had told me something about it, that kind of I was trying to tell you in a certain way, but you weren't really feeling open to it. And honestly, it's like, it's not that okay. Like, I'm not trying to seem super hyper aggressive, but some flavors aren't for everybody, and I'm not like to de-escalate sometimes. Um, but then they'll be asking for money somehow, and I don't get it. I really don't. As you can tell, like, it's not, I'm not taking myself out of the equation unless I feel like somebody is scamming me all the time. And I if I don't think that, okay, well, it's really difficult because the psychology of how everything works is just so, it's like so deep, right? And we want to make sure that everybody understands, and that not just the people who can really just follow verbatim exactly everything, because ultimately people say things that it's like, whoa, who are you talking about, what are you talking about? And it's like, well, it's my choice if I decide to remind you, but if I end up remembering and I'm like, wow, you really tried to sidestep that. I remembered because it wasn't that important for me to continue that idea. It was like something easy that I can drop. And like, it's not, it's okay. How many times is something going to happen in a conversation? And then it's okay. For some people, it feels like, okay, you build trust, you establish a connection. No one is going to want you. If you're constantly doubting yourself, then maybe they feel, okay, I need to help you. Maybe they might feel, oh, I need to get away from you. I was actually thinking of making cookies. I totally have all the ingredients to make it work. And, but I doubt myself when it comes down to it, because I know that, so if a scammer is ever just like ever taking advantage of that, then like, how many times do people ask, have you ate? Because to me, at least when I'm out in public, people do, have you ate? Like, they'll ask me that, like, and I don't, it's not for me to, why do I have to deal with everybody asking the same questions? What, it's not my, okay, so, okay, if I just had enough money, right? That kind of usually is what ends up being the case for everybody. It's like, oh my god, so I really just needed, like, I wouldn't even ask you if I didn't feel like I really, really needed it. And because some people, they'll be like, okay, I'll put myself in that position. I'll be, I'll be their rock. I'll be the one that's there for them in every situation, and always be there. At least, so like, if somebody's reciprocating at a very emotional level, then it might work in somebody's favor. It's like, if they just need to dissuade someone from trying to do something all the time, or like engage in certain activities, or like, so like, one person might interpret it as they need help, one other person might interpret it as, oh, they're just coping. And like, but I should be there, right? There should be somewhere that, oh, anything can just go there, so that's fine, right? So, but some people take advantage of that, and it's just like there's some deep necessity of every creature that has a life and that really has a consciousness should be taken serious, because the concept even just of time, like, or you hear it all the time. Sorry, it's how often do you hear about gut health, or you hear about like this medication that like those are the super cliches. Like a lot of people might say, oh, their grandma's, oh, their estranged family member, their dad, going on about coins and how that like they find rare coins from certain years and collector's items or something, like just all these, like some people might want to say they're autistic, but like coming from a person like me, I know that sounds like an insult, because some people might be like, oh, people have told me this, that, oh, your mom took Tylenol, too much Tylenol when she was pregnant with you, and I'm like, I hope not. I don't think so. She's kind of like against all that stuff, but like that's just my home because we come from a very traditional background. Like my parents are like the youngest of their parents, my grandparents, and my grandparents, my parents are like the youngest of their parents' children. So they have basically like so many years gaps. Like most grandparents, I think most people like my age, around, I'm not even 30 yet, but I'm always saying I'm 30 on the internet. It's kind of crazy. I just kind of like overball it, right? So the usually maybe the grandparents right now were born in the 60s, 70s. No, not 70s. Some grandparents are 70s. Wait, hold on. Because some people my age, like I'm 30, their parents could be, so 29. Ooh, 29 plus, so like 49. 49 is 25. So yeah, like 70, like 69. Yeah, so like, or very, we could say like very early 70s to maybe, I don't know, 1940s, 1930s, very kind of rare. My grandma was born sometime in the 1920s, and she's the last survivor. All of my other grandparents have passed away, and I don't like say that. I don't make light of it because it's really serious, and it feels like I don't want to just talk about something very deeply personal if it doesn't mean something, right? I don't want to put my family history out there like that, but so there's just like a really big gap for my parents, like their ages in their families, 3 generations down, because I'm also the youngest of my parents. So there's 5 of us, and I'm 4th. So it's kind of like 4th born to the end. So it's, oh sorry, my phone is fully charged now. So like, so I believe in God, and unfortunately sometimes that's just used in the wrong ways. I'm not even going to cover it tonight. That'll be the only instance. But so I'll just end it there. It's kind of getting a little too long, right? So let me see if I have some closing remarks. My other phone's not completely charged yet. I think that'll be all. That'll be all for today. Oh wait, just actually let me know if there's any highlights to your days in the comment section below. In the comment section below. Let me know if there's any anything. I'm open to all things, all possibilities of reality, as long as, the great things are awesome. So, not to, yeah, okay, bye.